Good morning once again. Welcome to this today's class. Today we're going to be talking about closing real estate deals. This is a part. This is the second part, or the beginning of the second part of the prospecting and real estate prospecting and closing. That we started a number of days ago. In this class, I'll be sharing with us some tips, some things about closing real estate deals, and um, and I've seen how that as important as prospecting is, every effort we made during prospecting seasons, if it is not met with a quality closing method, closing tips, we can end up, not really having the results that is desired. And so that's why in this course, I'll be taking us through those needed tips, those needed thoughts, with regarding to closing real estate deals. Now, real estate closing is the final step in the real estate buying and selling process. Once an offer on a property is officially accepted by the seller, a purchase agreement is made and a closing date is set. Upon closing, the property ownership is formally transferred from the selling to the buyer. In theory, learning how to close a sale is actually pretty simple. Show up prepared, give your pitch, answer your prospect's objections, ask for the sale, and if needed, follow up until you get a definitive answer. Actually, closing real estate deal is hitting the nail on the head. It is the reason for all the other steps we are taking, so far. The essence of all we have done so far is to close a deal. So closing a deal, when it's not done right, we can lose every effort as we put in place. In closing, we finalize agreements, finalize the buyer-seller agreement, and then come to terms together. So moving on, the science behind how to close a sale. I'm going to take in that first. Now let's start with a surprisingly insightful sales statistics. A whopping 92% of salespeople report giving up on a prospect after hearing no 4 times. Conversely, 80% of prospects report saying no 4 times before they finally say yes. Now, this is very familiar to most of us. A bulk of us here must have given up on the client, on the prospect, after hearing no after 4 times. Not only you, 92% of salespeople, 92% of marketers, 92% of affiliate marketers, 92% of real estate salesperson report giving up on the prospect after hearing no 4 times. But conversely, from the side of the prospect, we also found out 80% of prospects report saying no 4 times before they finally say yes. So what is that saying to us? An overwhelming majority of people, 80%, give a salesperson at least 4 no's before they change their minds and decide to try out a new solution. Yet, at the same time, virtually all salespeople, 92%, don't ever make it that far. So you see where the prospects, never meets, the salesperson never closes a deal because, a client or a prospect has said no 4 times. When you give up on such a client, you are just among the 92% of salespeople who give up on a prospect after hearing no 4 times and who never made it to, finally hearing yes. Among the 80% of prospects that eventually says yes. This is a very, very a very factual thought, a practical thing that we all experience, here and there, now and then. This doesn't even take into account how many salespeople and founders linger in the maybe zone forever, spending a lot of time selling without getting a definitive answer from their prospects. So the majority of people are not even within the people who had no or yes. They are in the midst of the maybe, maybe, and they linger there for a long time. Now, this statistic doesn't mean every lead is just for no's, away from turning into a yes. But the clear takeaway is that sales is often a long game. That's what we're pushing about here. That sales is often a long game. It's not. There are cases of somebody you speak with and immediately the deal is closed. But the clear takeaway is that sales is often a long game, and the majority of leads aren't going to close right there on your first cold call. In fact, I can assure you that most sales don't close on our first cold call. And that's the truth. By the simple act of committing to follow up with leads, building a relationship, and staying in touch with your best prospects, that's time to benefit most from your solution. You're going to rise above the vast majority of the competition. So, what differentiates you from the 92% of salespeople who gives up after hearing no 4 times is that you can continue when they have stopped. And by that continuing, you can make a lot of help. So by the simple act of committing to follow up with leads, building a relationship and staying in touch with your best prospect that stand to benefit most from your solution, you're going to rise above the vast majority of the competition. And this is very important. This is very, very important. Um, sorry. Sales closing techniques to win almost every sale. I'm going to be teaching us some techniques to win almost every sale. Now, don't forget where we started from. I've taken like 4 classes to talk about prospecting before coming into this closing. So it's a continuum, So let's not forget that. The first one I'm going to be teaching us is assumptive close. The assumptive close is based on the concept that you firmly believe you will make this sale from the moment you put effort into it. From the first time you put up a call, and the prospect respond, you assume that you believe, that this sale you're gonna pull through it. You will make this sale. The language you use throughout would indicate that you believe the sale is a done deal. The key is checking frequently on your prospect, gauging their level of interest, and handling and determining if they are on the same page as you. So you come to a client with an assumption that this is going to be a deal. It's going to be a done deal. It's going to be, you believe firmly within yourself that this sale, this is going to be, is going to convert, and that energizes you to put effort into it. You use languages, that shows, that indicates that you are believing that this sale is going to be a done deal. Why this works? Your confidence and positive thinking are contagious and make the prospect think the answer should be as obvious to them as it is to you. And when it works best, when you are working with familiar leads and know the product is a perfect fit for the prospecting needs. If you have built relationship with this particular lead, and you've gotten to know that the product you are selling is a perfect fit. The lands you are projecting to them is a perfect fit for them. Maybe you are talking about a school who has been looking for, a landed property, and then you move towards them. You got a land, that is going to be good enough for a school, strategically placed. That's the kind of time you can use assumptive close. Now, when not to use it is when you have no relationship with your prospect and hear repeated feedback that the solution doesn't make sense for them. Now, if at any time, by any chance, you don't have a genuine relationship with your prospect, that's why I shared in the past times how that we sell relationship, we sell ourselves before selling our products. if somebody can, if you can concentrate on building and sustaining relationship, then getting a sale will not be difficult. So the time not to use assumptive clause is when you have not built relationship with your prospect and you've heard repeated feedback that the solution does not really make sense for them. Then you don't use assumptive clause. There's another method to use for that. The second one is now or never clause. The now or never clause. Most of us must have come through this before. Offer your prospect something that they can only get if they commit within a certain period of time, including today. This can include things like, this is the last product we have remaining. Anyone who commits today gets a 15% discount. If you sign up today, you can take priority in the implementation queue. The price is only for a limited time until date. Until so date. So people like to ask, what is in it for me? If I buy it now, what do I stand to gain? That I will not gain if I buy it tomorrow. People have a list of things they want to do with money. So if you are able to let them see how that, they stand to gain, something by making a decision to buy what they need to buy now, you have won, a top on the list of many things they want to spend money upon. Why? Because you have given them something to work with. You've given them something to work with. Why this works? The prospect now feels that they are losing out on something. So if they are probably going to say yes eventually, it just makes sense to do it now. That's a very key. The prospect gets to know that, okay, if you don't do this thing now, we are losing something very important, which we might not be able to get back, if this time is allowed to go like that. When it works best, when you have the freedom to offer discounts and you are dealing with people whose main objection is that they don't have time to decide now. When you are dealing with a client and you know that, okay, this person has this money, the issue is having this issue of time. You can give him discounts, and you only do that when you have freedom to offer discounts. You don't offer discounts when you don't have freedom to do that. So you only do that when you have freedom to offer discounts, on a sale. The best time to use it is when you have freedom to offer discounts, and then you are dealing with people whose main objection is that they don't have time to decide now. You help them to decide by giving them a now or never clause option. When not to use it, when the prospect has made it clear your product will never implement at their company, or you can't offer a significant incentive. When you found out that the prospect has made it clear to you that they don't need your product, it's not going to be implemented in their company, you can't offer a significant incentive. As such, you don't try to use the now or never clause. Now or never clause rides upon, a huge measure of discount most time. You give some measure of discount that you wouldn't have given normally, for the now and or never clause. It's either the decision is taken now or it's not taken again. So the add clause, and I like this, also known as the nothing to lose clause. This tactic involves you letting your potential customer become very aware of the fact that you are selling to them. You ask for firm commitment when you can sign contract, when you can expect to close the deal, when you can set up implementation, and anything else that gets them to actually sign now. You walk up to somebody, let them know that, you ask questions like, when can you sign this contract? When can we go for inspection? When can we go for inspection? When can you expect to close this deal? You ask questions that fast track your closure. Let them know that you are ready to close the deal now. And why this works? Making what you want clear helps the person feel a little more at ease. And though they may not say yes, at least they will give you a firm answer, so you no longer have to spend time following up. Use this when you don't have a lot of time, doing follow up, here and there. You ask a question that is definite. That is definite. Sir, thank you very much for your time. When can we get to close this deal? You're not asking that, will you close this deal? No, you're saying, when can we? Or, sir, when can we schedule for an inspection, to this property? By asking that kind of a question, you have stayed ahead of the person already. When it works, when you know you won't be getting the yes, and have no other options. When you know that, okay, this person might not, if I continue like this, he might not eventually buy this thing. You ask the question, at least, even if he says no, you will get why and all that. It helps you to arrange and to know what next steps to take, rather than wasting your time on a particular client that eventually will not buy. When not to use it? When you are still in the early stages of following up with your leads. You don't use ad close when you're in the early stage. You only use ad close when you know that this person, I've followed this person for a couple of times and I've not seen a measure of seriousness that can make me to feel like, okay, he's willing to take this deal. Let's go on. The next one is the option close. Now, with these strategies to close deals, you are offering your prospect a choice between two or more options, hoping that they will choose one rather than saying yes, saying no, sorry. Offering two pricing plans that suit their needs, tiered levels of service with different features I mentioned earlier versus later. For example, let me give you an example now. Currently, POREC is selling on 10% discount on our lands at Laduba and our lands at Shao, that's Rockset Estate and Almond Bloom Estate. Currently, we are selling those land with 10% discount. Now, for instance, you approach a prospect and you've been talking on it and all that, and then you are noticing that it's not showing firm readiness towards it, maybe because of the price difference and all that. You can offer instrumental options. So we have 3 month instrumental options, we have 6 month instrumental options, we have 1 year, 3 years. You're offering options. Then you can also offer other products that are possibly cheaper than the one you have been offering to him. You can talk to him about maybe how about buying from Laduba. Laduba is 250,000 naira and now it's 225 because of the 10% discount. How about buying at Bala? You offer options for him to choose from. That's what we call option close. Why this works? With 2 viable options in front of them, a person is more likely to choose one or even choose the cheaper option of 2 choices, because it feels like they are saving money. When it works best, when you have tiered service levels and know your prospect would benefit from both of them, you can use that. When not to use it is when your offering is static and you don't already have confirmed interest in the unique features your product offers. When you understand that the prospect you are talking about is neither interested in this nor that, then you don't even offer options. And when you know that you don't have other options, you don't offer what you don't have, you don't promise what you cannot give. The question close. Asking your lead probing questions can force them to actually explain why something does or doesn't work for them. Ask them why you can't proceed with an inspection. Why X feature wouldn't solve the client's needs, and so on. You may even have existing customer testimonials that back your solution up to this prospect. Question close is like, you have talked to this client, you have communicated and all that, you have had discussions and all that, but it seems not to be showing up. Then you ask things like, sir, why will this why would you not subscribe to this deal now? It's a question close. You are asking to know, you are probing. You want to know if he has reservations. It's very good. These kinds of closing question, why this works, it gives you a far better opportunity to explain why your product meets their needs. When you ask questions, their answer helps you to know where to tackle, where to address, which area of their trust issue you need to deal with. When it works best is when your lead seems perpetually on the fence, but isn't really explaining why they aren't interested. They are not showing interest, but they're not telling you why they're not interested. In such a case, you can use question close. When not to use it is when the prospect has clearly stated reasons for why aspects of your product don't work for them. When he has given you reasons already, why a particular aspect of your product doesn't work for them, then you don't use the question clause for that, so that you don't lose relationship. It's better to lose an opportunity now than to lose a relationship, because when you have a relationship, you can still make sales later. The next one is the backwards close. Now, the backwards close, this technique goes against almost all sales cycle training, but it has been known to work with certain types of leads. Like I told you, sometimes when I was teaching prospecting, I thought that you should know when to say no. I'm sorry, you should know when to stop pursuing a client. That sounds awkward amongst the sales cycle training and all that. But it is the truth. The same thing is with this one. It has been known to work with certain types of leads. Method involves starting at the end. Ask your leads for a referral rather than trying to sell something to them at the onset of the relationship. You know that, maybe you know that this person, is more at, is not the kind of person that you, okay, why this works is because by recognizing that you aren't trying to sell to them, the potential customer will feel more at ease and will be more open to listening to what you have to say. What you are doing here is you go to somebody and say, sir, I won't mind if you won't mind to refer me, I'll be glad. I will appreciate if you can refer me to somebody to buy this product. And then by that, you tell him why and how he can get the person convinced. So you are telling him the qualities of your product. You are giving him information on why your product should be most suitable. You are giving it to him as though you want him to refer you. However, it's a method you are using to sell to him by himself. So when you know the person, the best time when it works best is when you know the person, found their information through referral, or already have an indication from them that they have no interest in what you are selling. Then you can use the backwards close. That if I lose you, I shouldn't lose your referral. You can ask for referrals. When not to use it? When you are early in the sales cycle and have no reason to doubt your ability to make the sale, then you don't use the backwards close. You only use the backwards close when you understand that this person, you know him, you know this person already. You have found out that you found their information, you got their information through somebody's referring to, and by indications, that they have no interest in what you are selling. Then you can use the backwards close. Ask them to refer you. It works. It works. So now that you know the top methods of closing sales, you've got the basic techniques down and know when to use them. In our next class, we will talk about building and modifying these formulas for sales in a way that works for your business. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next class. Like I used to say to us, let's ensure that we put these things into practice. It goes a long way when we put things we have learned into practice. Thank you very much.